you can't answer it. So you can only speak about it and think about it. Mm-hmm. And so I just wonder if you are a performance artist. How does this thing? Why not dance? Why not painting? Why? Right. So why the special? You choose to do this performance sometimes.
Well, I think that the way when I was about 18 or 19 years old, I remember, you at that time you have to choose your sort of what direction you're going to start studying or what are you going to do. And at that point in my life, I was really wanting to find. I didn't know what it was that I was looking for, but I knew that there was something about indigenous knowledge and indigenous knowledge systems that I didn't grow up around, that I wanted to learn. And I felt really conflicted in some ways because people seemed to know what they were going to do. I'm going to study this, I'm going to study that, I'm going to become a dancer, I'm going to go into this. And a lot of that to me, I didn't have the language at the time, but somehow I knew that this was just all sort of, I probably didn't even know the term colonialism at the time, but I just felt the heaviness of that this didn't come from where, this didn't come from where I came from. So, and so it went on to some sort of journey. So I was here in Toronto for my first year of university, and I came to York because I knew it had a good fine art program if I wanted to take that course, to go that route. And here, I thought this isn't the place. What I need, like what I'm to study, it doesn't come from this language. It doesn't come from these disciplines. I knew this isn't how we live and do these things. So I moved back home. I thought this is where my teachers are. This is where I'll learn this, and it won't be in sort of. And there was a university there, and at the time it was Saskatchewan Indian Federated College, and it was the only. I mean, it was internationally, just groundbreaking sort of post-secondary institution. Again, just governed and run by Indigenous people, and it took place in my own community, my own backyard, right? So. I went, the late Bob Boyer taught there in the Indigenous Fine Art Department, Edward Putra, one of my instructors there. And Edward had a huge influence upon me, his work, his installation work and sculptural work, and we've since, worked together many, many times. And just to be home and connecting with it took many, many years, because so much has been suppressed and was, suppressed, and trying to build relationships and who's speaking and teaching. And so it's just coming at a way of life and a way of being that doesn't, which to me seems quite organic and natural. Again, the thing of the freedom and how we play, because our way in our communities and our way in everything we do is there's just devilishly good playfulness and humor, at so many different layers. And that's performance art, too.
But I guess, the term performance, whether we care about it or not, even that's sort of open. In a sense, I think of you as also as a writer and a lot of other things. And even the other night you said, oh, well, what I'm doing is really, it's a video. And I was thinking, well, that's actually, it could be a whole new medium of augmented or animated, like live animated video or something, if we wanted to give labels to these things. Not that that's necessarily important, but I think there's a broader terrain of art in which we're working. But also there's that sense of contemporary, in the sense of we're trying to evolve a language that speaks to now, that's still connected to our communities. Sometimes I think I'm the freak, I live in this world, I'm communicating with this world, with the world I know, my particular neighborhood, my particular colleagues, my particular set of social circumstances. But what I'm doing is trying to put images out there that for me I recognize, and I'm thinking, nobody else seems to be seeing this, so I need to point it and see, maybe one other person will see and go, oh yeah, I saw that too. I think those things too. Those you know, your reality is not so different from mine, or so away from mine. And I think for me that's part of it is we're trying to kind of find
common language.
We're a way through conflict, all of those things, you know, and to claim our culture to the extent that say, yeah, I'm part of this world, but also to say, and what I have to give can also grow this world a bit, or you know, it's not that I have solutions, but here's my set of circumstances, here's my humanity that I want to share with my community, and make other people feel, make myself feel I'm not alone, obviously, but make others feel maybe that they're not alone either.
Yeah, well, you do hope that it contacts, or you do hope that it transfers meaning or transfers ideas and communicates. It's one of the hopes I would have. And depending on the forum as well, you know, using humor or satire, or depending on the work as well, you know, whether the different languages that one can use to do that has different forms, I suppose.
But I think there's also a provocation, I would say, in all of your works in different ways, on different levels, because it seems to me everybody's trying to speak to multiple communities at the same time, because there's the in community. I sort of was dancing on this the other day of like, there's people who are in the know in one way, or people who are in the know because they're your friends, or people in the know because they're part of the same ethnic or cultural background that you are, who are all going to relate to that work on different levels, and somehow we're speaking to all of these different things that we are at once, and trying to bring this very, well, for me it's often confusing, all these different people I am at the same time, how to make them whole in some way, and honor all of that at once. I'm thinking, for example, of Robin's work, you know, the language in that video, I don't know how many people in the room that night would have known what was being said. That doesn't make it any less important or any less expressive, but it expresses in a different, you know, it's a provocation as well. It's saying, here's a language of this land, and how many of you in the room know it right now? I wonder if you have any, you know, it's interesting that you would choose to bring that work here and show it in this context. I wonder what that means for you in terms of...
Wow, to bring it here. Well, I just have been a bit obsessed anyway, in my own, with learning the language and utilizing it in performance and working. And so I've just become in a bubble almost, in working with my own writing, and then working with translators, and then, you know, performing. I take it back to, you know, a few old critics, and you know, the language. And so I'm just really, so I'm not really too much thinking about, or haven't been, who it's going to be, you know, why this festival, why bring this here, or, I mean, it's just my own sort of, I guess, self-indulgent sort of process and practice in some ways, yeah. You know?
I don't think it is self-indulgent. But
no, but it is true. I mean, there is a provocation, you know, there is a point, because, well, not... When I first started performing and using Soto, absolutely, which was a different performance in live spoken Soto, that was a direct, provocation, you know, for sure. That was meant to challenge that particular audience at that particular location and time, for sure, and brought it out there. It was just sort of throwing down the gauntlet, you know, this is, and drawing a line about enough. You come understand my world now, you know. It was also a very gentle piece too. It wasn't an angry piece, you know. It was, I guess, throwing down the gauntlet's not the right term then. It really wasn't, you know. Maybe but it was just, it was such a, you know, it was just enough already. And so that